Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are finally doing the long-awaited Europe trip book haul. My husband and I we got back from Europe like 2 months ago. No, it's longer than that. January, February, no, December, January, February. 3 months! We went 3 months ago, and I'm just now filming this book haul. These books have been sitting in my living room in front of my shelf. I haven't shelved them because I don't want to like mess them up and like get them out of order, because I need to remember like where I bought them from so I can introduce it into the vlog. But yes, finally I'm doing the book haul, and to say that I went crazy when it came to shopping in London and Paris is an understatement. Our suitcases were so overweight, we had to check my husband's day bag. He had a separate backpack that was just for going around the city with, and we actually had to unpack that from the suitcase, pile the books inside of it, and then check that as another checked bag. I'm not even kidding here. I think next time I'm gonna have to hold back a little bit, maybe ship this stuff home. I think it would probably be cheaper and easier than scrambling at the airport to try to repack stuff to make sure our suitcases were underweight. And this crazy thing is, we had 3 large suitcases, like the biggest suitcase you can get. We had 3 of them. 3, one for each of us, and the third one was going to be for souvenirs. That is how much stuff we bought. Between books, skincare, various souvenirs for friends, and snacks. We bought a lot of snacks to take home. And oh yeah, and I went shopping at Louis Vuitton and Saint Laurent while we were over there. So yeah, we definitely went overboard. I think next time, like I said, we're gonna ship this stuff home. But let's get into it. Basically, everywhere I went, if there was books available, I was gonna buy some. The first bookstore we went to in London, we actually stumbled upon it by accident, and it was a place called Bookmarks. They were kind of a counterculture type of bookstore, something you'd see probably like at a place like San Francisco back in like the 90s. So I was like, oh babe, I think this is a communist bookstore. I'm not really sure, but I think it is. But I liked how when you first walk into the bookstore, there's a giant sign saying like, immigrants welcome, LGBTQIA people are welcome, Black Lives Matter, all that stuff. And I was like, okay, I want to support this place. All right, technical difficulties, my camera literally just fell over. Anyways, I was like, I want to support this place because it cares about social justice. So we walked in. I didn't think I would find anything, you know, but I ended up finding 3 really good books. I didn't want to spend too much money in there, mainly because we didn't have a lot of room in our day bag to carry stuff around with, and it was raining that day. So yeah, but this place is called Bookmarks. It's literally down the street from the British Museum, and you can't miss it. The first book I got was a copy of the Communist Manifesto, mainly because my mom, when I was a kid, she completely flipped out at the word communist and got rid of my copy of it, so I wasn't allowed to read it. Another one is called Born in Blackness by Howard W. French. Obviously, it's a history of Africans and African Americans in the modern world from 1471 to World War II. So this one has a lot of really interesting pictures in it, and it's gonna probably take me a while to get through this book, but I saw it and I was like, I gotta get it, got to get it. Finally, the other book I got was After Black Lives Matter by Cedric Johnson. And again, like I said, if next time we go back to London, I'm definitely going to this bookstore again, because they had a lot of really good books that I had never heard of. And again, all history, all social justice kind of books. Their queer section was very large, so if you're someone who's interested in stuff like that, check out Bookmarks. It's down the street from the British Museum. And yeah, I kind of should have spent more money there now that I think about it. The next place we got books from, it was actually a DVD store and a record store, but they also sold books. And so I only got 3 things. My husband and I were looking for DVD. We were trying to go DVD shopping as much as we could in London. because we heard there's a lot of good DVD stores there, but I didn't find what I was looking for, but I did find 2 books and a CD. The CD is The Best of Crowded House. I don't know if you know who they are. You know, hey now, don't dream it's over. I can't sing. And then the 2 books I got was Hubert Selby Jr.'s Requiem for a Dream. If you've never seen the movie with Jared Leto, very good movie, heartbreaking movie, all about addiction and how it ruins your life, essentially. The other book was Richard Millward, Kimberly's Capital Punishment. I saw my name and I said, I don't even know what it's about. I don't even know what it's about. I'm getting it. So I'm probably gonna put this on my TBR for later in the year. Probably around my birthday, now that I think about it, since it's got my name, you know. But yeah, those are the only 3 things I bought from that place. It was actually, the store was called FOP. And I also made a point of buying a tote bag at as many places I could find. I got one at Shakespeare and Company. I did not get one at Waterstones or Bookmarks, and I regret missing out on those. The next place we got books from, we did a tour of Shakespeare's Globe Theater. And of course, I bought the guidebook, and the only book I really wanted in there was the Shakespeare insult generator. Because I'm childish as hell. So of course, you gotta have, you know, an insult generator from, you know, Shakespearean time. Let's see which one we got right here. You are an artless, bald-pated arch villain. You are a beslubbering, beef-witted baggage. You are an unhandsome, stretched-mouthed quatch buttock. Sorry. You are a theatrical, puppy-headed purpose changer. Okay, this is so weird. Okay, I'm having too much fun with this thing. But I think, we didn't buy a lot of books that day at the Globe Theater, mainly at the gift shop, because we were going to the Tower of London afterwards. And I knew that we had 2 books that we'd be getting from the Tower of London as part of our package that I bought. And speaking of the Tower of London, these are the 2 books I got. This one's just basically the historic palaces of the Tower of London, and this one's all about the crown jewels, because you're not allowed to take pictures in there. And the whole time we were in there looking at the crown jewels, I'm just thinking to myself, oh, these jewels came from Africa and India and places like that. And I'm like, give my people their, you know what, back. Give my people their stuff back. Give them their diamonds back. This right here makes me very angry. Give it back. Next, we're gonna go across the pond to Paris. And this was the penultimate bookstore that I really wanted to go to. It was the only bookstore I went to while we were in Paris. And of course, you know, it has to be the famous Shakespeare and Company. So I did a little bit of damage there. And what was really cool is that the guy saw how excited I was to be there, and I said, I've been wanting to come here since I was a little kid, you know. And he's like, you know what, you Americans know that much about, like, even as a kid? I'm like, I've known what this bookstore is for a long time. So to be sweet, the guy actually stamped all my books with the Shakespeare and Company stamp. It was so cool. I was like, oh, thank you. But I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books. And I also bought a tote bag from them, but it's not, you know, I don't know where I put it. It's somewhere in the house. But this is me right here. I'll put the picture up right here. This is me in front of Shakespeare and Company, smiling. I actually kind of had tears in my eyes a little bit, because I'm like, 10-year-old me is screaming right now. But here are the books I got. First, I got a pocket copy of Othello, because why not? I haven't read Othello in so long, and I'm gonna tell you right now, this is gonna hurt my eyes. This tiny little print is going to hurt my little eyes, but it's worth it in the end, because it's Othello. Next was a tiny pocket copy of Love Letters of Great Men. I think anyone who's ever seen the first Sex and the City movie, there's a book that did not exist at this time that Carrie's reading called Love Letters of Great Men. And after that movie came out, they actually published the book, an actual book about love letters from great men. And this is it. I'm hoping to take this and, you know, give it to my husband to have him have some sort of inspiration to write me love letters, even though we live in the same house and we're never apart. Next, we have a pocket copy of William Shakespeare's sonnets, because why not? Shakespeare and Company. Of course I'm gonna buy Shakespeare stuff. And next we have a book of poems selected by Shakespeare and Company called Paris in Our View. And of course, this, I've already flipped through it a little bit. You know, I was trying to save it for, you know, until I could film this video, but I started flipping through it anyways, and I was just like, oh my God. It made me realize I have not read poetry in so long that I need to get back into reading poetry. I didn't realize I missed it as much as I did, but yeah. Next we have I Will Greet the Sun Again by, I'm gonna butcher this name, and I'm not gonna say it. This is the author right here. I don't wanna mispronounce her name, but this one sounded very interesting. It's about 3 young brothers leave Los Angeles in the dead of night for Iran, taken by their father from their mother to a country in an ancestral home they barely recognize. They return to the valley months later, spit back into American life, and change in inexorable ways. Under the dazzling light of the California sun, our protagonist, the youngest brother, begins to piece together a childhood shattered by his father's violence, a queer adolescence marked by a shy, secret love affair with a boy he meets on the basketball court, and his ever-changing status as a Muslim in America at the turn of the new millennium. So this one sounded very interesting. I don't know what drew me to it. I think the cover was what first drew me to it. And then when I read the synopsis, I was like, okay, I have to get this. So I think this is gonna be I'm probably gonna read this one to check off my LGBTQ main character on my book bingo. So I'll let y'all know how that one goes once I'm done reading it. Next, we have Literary Paris, a photographic tour, because I love coffee table books. And I saw this and I'm like, oh, heck yeah. Because I'm nosy and I want to know what other libraries are and libraries and bookstores are in Paris. So this was a cute one to get. And again, it's a coffee table book. It's just so pretty. Next, and finally, the history of Shakespeare and Company itself. I had to get this. I mean, look how thick she is. This is the full history of the bookstore itself. So I'm very excited for this one. Again, another coffee table book, but I'm actually going to read it. I'm actually going to read it. Finally, going back to London, we went to the largest bookstore in Europe, and that is the Waterstones on Piccadilly. I regret not buying a tote bag while we were there, because we were told, like, oh yeah, you can order anything online and have it shipped to the US. That's not true. You can only order certain things online on their website and have it shipped to the US. Their books, their books are pretty much the only thing. Any of the little gift stuff, like the tote bags and some other things, the knickknacks, it seems like you can't have those shipped. So, oh well. First and foremost, I had to get a British cookbook because we did afternoon tea at Fortnum & Mason, and this right here is all the recipes from their afternoon tea, including other things that they didn't serve, that they do serve, but not particularly what we got that day. So as much as I don't want to give money to the Parker Bowles family, and you know what? This man has some sort of deal with Fortnum & Mason, and he writes their cookbooks for them. So fine. I'll give you money. I'll give you my money, Tom. I like you better than your mom anyways. But I bought this because I was looking for the Fortnum & Mason recipe for their scones and for their tea sandwiches. And this book has the exact recipe for all of their stuff that they serve in afternoon tea. So of course I had to get it. I didn't care how much it was, but it's also really pretty. It's a really beautiful book with their beautiful baby blue coloring. Next, I got Lovecraft Country because I never watched the show, but it was on HBO, and I haven't read the book, and I've been wanting to get into the show, but I said, no, I gotta read the book first. And when I saw this in the horror section, I said, I'm gonna have to get it. Next is The Dead of Winter, which is basically a compilation of short stories, and it's all horror themed. And you're starting to see a theme here, right? Because I spent a lot of time in the horror section. Next we have Woman in Black. I have seen the movie and the sequel. I think I saw the sequel, but I have yet to read the book. So here we go. This is hilarious. So I bought a copy of Ernest Hemingway's Movable Feast. But here's the funny thing. All right, I don't know where it is, but I bought a copy of A Movable Feast because I liked this cover, only to get home and realize I already owned a copy of A Movable Feast. So now I have two, but with just two different covers. Am I gonna get rid of one of them? Hell no. No, of course not. I'm keeping both of them. And finally we have Lucy Worsley, Jane Austen at home, because of course, I'm in London, I'm in England, I need to buy something Jane Austen themed. And plus it just looks so pretty. This looks so pretty. But to say more about the Waterstones, I wish I could have stayed there longer, but my husband was not feeling well. He was kind of hanging out in the cafe upstairs, drinking tea the whole time I was indulging in my shopping addiction for books. But it was like 6 or 7 floors. I can't remember how many floors, but that thing was huge. Next time we go to London, I told him, I'm like, we're spending like a half a day there. Like we're spending at least 2 hours in that bookstore. That's not a half a day, but you get my drift. But I have to go back. That right there is one of the main reasons why I want to go back to London, is just so I can go to Waterstones and do more shopping. And then of course go to the nearest post office and ship all these things back home. But yeah, that is my, that's my collection of books that we got. Now you understand why our suitcases were overweight. This is one of the reasons why. It was all these damn books, especially the heavier books. Like that cookbook, the Shakespeare cookbook. These things are pretty heavy. But yeah, that's it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that little bell icon so you know when I upload, and I will see y'all next one. Bye.